This video is brought to you by Patreon supporter Scott.
So, I have a bit of a confession to make. I've been sitting on a stockpile of LPVOs from Scott for the last couple of months now. And the only reason why it's taken me so long to get to them is because I just have so much else going on. So many other things coming in for review, and I honestly put them on the back burner. And Scott knows this, and he was okay with that. But now it's time for me to crack these open and really get my hands on them, because it's only fair for him to get them back and for you to see what they're like. First up is this HAWKE Frontier 30 1-6 LPVO. And there's all the information you're going to need to know about this. The box is extremely nice. This thing almost feels like it's made out of plastic, but it's really dense cardboard. And everything about it is freaking beautiful. It's awesome. One of the nicest boxes I've ever felt. And that's saying something, because I felt some pretty nice boxes. Slides right open, and as you can see, there is our optic encased in these two nice blocks of foam. Good system to hold it all together. And a little book. And by little book, I mean this thing is like a flip book. There's a lot of information in there, all of which we're not going to take a look at. Bikini cap comes as standard, and I really like these. They're a really inexpensive way to keep your lenses clean and not have to worry about having things be in the way constantly with like scope caps and stuff like that. Or at least on LPVOs, in my opinion. And here it is. This is my first time getting my hands on a HAWKE, and I have to say, this thing's pretty damn sweet. Now this is made in China, as you can see right there. And these things go for around $700-ish, $600 to $700, which is a lot of money. But is it any good? Well, let's find out, shall we? Starting at the fast focus eyepiece, this thing has a pretty decent resistance on it, and it feels very smooth. Pretty fast, has a decent amount of threads on there, but it does have some wiggle. Now, of course, this is a slightly used optic, but as you can see, it's in immaculate condition. So who knows what's going on here, but just know that for the price, you're already getting some wiggle action in the back. Not something I'm a fan of. However, something I don't terribly mind is this rubberized magnification ring, which does have a slight little bit of a throw lever in there. Not much, but it's enough to turn this with relative ease. Starting at 12, coming down to 6 o'clock, just shy of 180 degrees, I would say. It's smooth, it's fast. Makes an interesting noise there, but good enough. I don't know how this will work as far as getting a throw lever on there, or at least an extended throw lever with this rubber coating. I don't know if, number one, they make it, and number two, how well it would hold up, because you usually want a firm surface to a firm surface to get the best possible result, because it's typically clamp-on style. So with this rubberized coating, I don't know if that would loosen up over time or just not really hold true ever. This is an illuminated optic like most LPVOs are, or at least some of the ones that I like to review. And as you can see, you get 6 brightness settings with offs in between. And honestly, as long as there's a good deviation between the lowest to the highest, that's perfectly fine. I don't need 1,000 different possible combinations for illumination most of the time. Turrets on this are really nice. Yes, they are exposed target turrets, which usually I don't really care for on LPVOs because I really don't see the point, but these are at least locking. This is a mil reticle, mil, but it does go, for whatever reason, 6 mils per rotation. I don't know why they just wouldn't leave it at 5, an easier number to remember. So this way when you adjust it, it's only 5, 10, 15, 20, not 6, 12, 18, 24. Anyway, you can see there's a fair amount of play when it is locked in place, but it takes a fair amount of resistance to also clock it out. So not terrible. It also sounds pretty good as well, and it does lock very securely. You don't have to worry about this thing popping out and coming undone. It requires a fair amount of resistance to unlock this. Same can be said for the windage turret. And it is basically the exact same turret as the elevation. I think it's basic enough overlook of this thing. Let's get behind it and see what it looks like.
So we're not going to spend too much time looking through this like I do on all of my unboxings, but here we are at 1X looking at my 30-yard power transformer. This has basically become the staple of all of my videos just because it's really simple for me to go into my living room and start filming with it. The 1X on this is so far really nice. Sharpness is from center to edge is also very good. And look at that reticle. I really, really like it. It really reminds me of the SM1 reticle from the K16i that I had reviewed from Scott, except with better drops in my opinion. I really like how the drops on this flare out. They get wider as you go farther out in distance, which it should be. And as far as the illumination goes, I think HAWKE really hit the nail on the head with this, because just like the SM1 reticle, only the center dot and the large circle around it is illuminated, and I think it looks fantastic. It might not seem that bright right now, but I assure you that when this thing is on maximum brightness, it's more than adequate in most daytime environments. And that is saying something, because not every LPVO does it so well. And with that, I'm going to conclude this unboxing. A huge thank you to Patreon provider Scott for sending this in for review, along with a multitude of other stuff that I'm trying to get to. So thank you very much for your patience, and thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.
And a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible.